Hey, Michael from Black Snow Comics here. Today we're 100 days into my year-long daily drawing challenge, so that's 100 drawings. I thought it'd be a good time to just reflect on it and what it's meant so far. You can hear my daughter in the background. Yes. So, 100 days. When I decided I was going to do this, I didn't put a ton of thought into it. Just when it was coming up on the new year, thought I wanted to try something. I really wanted to start drawing more. I hadn't drawn a whole lot for a while. And I really wanted to work on drawing consistently because that's always been kind of an issue. I like to draw to excess where I kind of burn out and then I don't want to draw for quite a while. And that's typically what's happened a lot in the past where I'm working on comics and things. So I thought this would give me something that is done more in moderation. I didn't want any of the drawings to take like a super long time each day. I didn't want to have like 6 or 8 hour days of drawing. I wanted to try to keep everything reasonable. So that was kind of the thought process behind what I would do. I didn't really know how it would turn out. I assumed there'd be a lot of fan art, which there has been. I started out more doing a lot of traditional media or traditional tools or whatever you want to call it, but just basically paper and pen and pencil and things like that, and coloring with markers and stuff, and that was kind of nice. I hadn't done that as much for a while. I focused more on digital drawing, so it was nice to kind of take a step back and do a little more of that, and it's a little bit of a different skill set, and it makes you focus on kind of the fundamentals. So that was a good way to kick things off, and I'll probably go back to it fairly soon because I've been doing a lot of digital lately. But from there, it went to drawing it traditionally and then coloring it digitally, which is something I've done a lot in the past. It's kind of a way I feel comfortable with coloring. Markers have been a newer thing that I don't do a ton of just because I like the way I digitally color better. So I started doing that, then it led to doing some digital, some traditional, and then once I started doing more digital, I started wanting to try new things with that, and I ended up getting a different program. Usually I draw in Photoshop, and that's the way I've always done it, but I got whatever the new manga studio is called, Paint Studio Pro or something like that. I forget what it is at the moment. If you watch my other videos, I did one for each month that are a little more detailed in what I'm talking about, and I go through the pictures and stuff. I don't think we need to go through all 100 pictures today. This is more of a kind of general what it's been like drawing for 100 days. But anyway, I got that new program. I wanted to use that a lot, and once I started drawing a lot and I got a little tax money back, I decided I was finally going to get a better tablet. So now I have a tablet with a screen, the XP Pen, and that's been cool. Still a few little quirks with it that I'm trying to work out, and it's hard to get it to calibrate just right, which throws me off a little, but it's still cool. It's much better than drawing on my Intuos, which had no screen. So it's been so basically I've been getting more into the digital and trying new things. Some of the effects of doing it every day, and it's kind of funny. Someone, I forget who, when I said I was doing I didn't know there was such a thing as a 365-day challenge when I just decided to do this, and after I started posting stuff and figuring out how to hashtag it, then I saw, okay, well, I guess other people have been doing this, which makes sense. I mean, no one has any brand new ideas anymore. Everything's already been done. But anyway, I found out that there's this other stuff, so I started tagging it like 365-day challenge, and now I found kind of a more appropriate one, which is like 365-day drawing challenge, I think is what it is, or 365 drawing challenge, something like that. I don't know. If you look at my stuff, it's got the hashtag, but and I'm not like a huge hashtag guy, if you couldn't tell. But someone asked me, like, well, what do you get for doing the challenge? What's your prize? Like, oh, that'd be nice. I guess my prize is hopefully that I'm get better every day, and I think I have. Especially some of the earlier stuff that I was just doing is a little rough, but I don't know. It's not like totally consistent that some of it was rough and now it's all great. I mean, I still pump out a few things where I kind of look at it and think, oh, well, I kind of missed the mark on that or whatever. But overall, I've been very happy with everything. It's looked good, and it's been a nice mix of requests from family and friends and fans, and just stuff I felt like drawing, and sometimes the two merge, which is nice. Today for the day 100, I did something special to me, which is I drew Hellboy. I haven't drawn Hellboy a ton in the past. Kind of the character is a little intimidating for me in a way, just because it's my favorite and I don't want to do a poor job of it, and I like Mike Mignola's work so much that it feels a little odd to go in and draw it differently, but you don't want to go in and copy it either, because it's just going to be a poor imitation. And Hellboy's been my favorite for quite a while. If you've never noticed, I do have one of my favorite possessions here is my signed Hellboy print that I got when I got to meet Mike at one of the shows I worked. And if you're wondering, right above it is a Watchmen sketch that I got signed when I got to meet Dave Gibbons at a different show that I worked. So that's pretty cool. And since I'm just showing you stuff, I don't have a lot of toys, but I do have a couple of Hellboy toys, just because, like I said, it is my favorite. This is the only pop I've ever bought. I'm not really big into pops, and I'm not like a big action figure guy at all, but I got this recently, and I never see that type of stuff around, so I had to pick it up. And the reason I did Hellboy for day 100 is I thought, well, 100, it's a nice solid number. Let's do something special. Why not do my favorite guy? Plus, I'm doing my Hellboy week. I'm excited for the new Hellboy movie. I believe it's the 25th anniversary of Hellboy I've seen around, so it's Hellboy time. But anyway, what else would I say about how it's been? I figured out more about what I like to draw and what my style is. The last couple weeks I've been focusing on strictly comic book characters, and as much fun as I have drawing cartoon characters or taking other things and just drawing them, comics are my main focus, comic books specifically, and I think I do feel a little more comfortable in drawing those. As far as kind of my style, when I was a kid, I always had a hard time trying to come up with a style. What's my style? And it's still kind of an odd thing to me. It's a weird thing to try to manufacture yourself a style. It's kind of just something that needs to come naturally from your drawing, really. If you're trying to do a specific style, it seems like it comes out forced, and it's a lot harder. And unless you have a very natural, like very stylized inclination, it's going to be a little more subtle. So if I'm someone that's coming up with like Invader Zim, that's got a very distinct style. If I'm Tim Burton, that's very distinct. Like that has a very narrow vision, and your stuff's all going to look very recognizable. For my stuff, I guess what I've come to realize is, for a long time I didn't think I really had a style, but now when I look back at some of my work, I see, yeah, there's a consistency there in the way, especially like faces are drawn or specific things. As I've done a lot more drawing lately, I kind of noticed my style tends to be clean lines with a decent amount, probably a medium amount of shading, with a lot of hatching, not a lot of cross hatching, just single hatching, to try to give depth. And I think I do a pretty good job of that, and drawing in a little depth with stuff like if I was drawing myself right now, I'd focus a lot on the shading of the wrinkles in my shirt, the shading on this half of my face because the light's coming from this side. So I've started to pick up on a lot more of that, and it's not like something I consciously said, well, this is what I want to do. It's kind of how I do it. I've also been watching a lot more of other artists doing drawing on YouTube. That's been kind of helpful and interesting. Mainly I've been watching a lot of Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane, because they do a lot of live drawings and sometimes tutorials and things, and they're actually helpful for me. For as long as I've been drawing, I feel like there's a lot I can learn. And I think that's probably a healthy place to be in, because once you feel like you know it all, you kind of get complacent and a little lazy with your art or with anything really. So other effects that I've felt from it, I've definitely felt more confident in my work. I feel like I can draw what I want, and the vision in my head is fairly close to what I can put down on paper or digitally. It's been a nice boost in that way. It's also been nice that it's allowed me to have smaller bite-sized projects. Sometimes the hardest thing is working on a lengthy book or anything like that, just because there's so much more. So you could I can draw hours on a few panels, and then I'm done. I look at it and say, okay, well, I got those 3 panels done. There's still like 5 more on this page, and then that's only 1 page of 24 that I'm working on right now, and it feels a little overwhelming. It's one of those things where it's best to take it one at a time, I would say. The whole one day at a time type attitude, apply that to your art in that way is what I found. Otherwise, it does lead to that thing where I was talking about being burnt out and then taking these lengthy hiatuses. Let's see, any other final thoughts here? I guess one of my main takeaways has just been that it's made me enjoy drawing that much more. In the past, it's been easy to get down on my drawing or just get tired of drawing for a while. And this has been something that's made me feel really good about my drawing, and it's brought me a lot of joy. And it seems like it's brought joy to other people who've been following it, and it's been nice that I've had a fairly regular stream of people putting in requests and commenting on my drawings, and seem to appreciate them. So it's just been a nice experience so far. We're between, I guess, a quarter and a third of the way through the year. Have there been times where I don't want to draw? Yeah, sometimes I have other things going on in my life, or I'm just not feeling like sitting down and drawing that minute. But for the most part, I've had a decent routine that's made it fun and consistent and easy for me. And I plan to continue doing that. So let's keep it going for another 265 days. One day at a time. All right. Thanks for watching.